Now let us see. Excellent. So that's decided that it will behave. Hi Crafty Jacks, thank you for watching, darling. Let me just shovel some bits out the way because I've got too much on my top at the moment. There we are. That's cool. And let me move that back to that. Excellent. Cool. Hi Liz, thank you for joining me. Here, I'm just going to wait a little bit and see who joins. Probably won't be. Hi Serena, hi Sarah, hi Sheila, hi Caroline. What a lovely surprise to have this number of people watching me at short notice on a Saturday night. So first things first, oh I'm sorry Jax, well I hope I can cheer you up. I'm not promised, but it does. So it could be an interesting night for a live because ever so often the rain hits and it might sound a bit like someone's playing the jungle drums, I think, because it really can get quite noisy in here. So we'll just a little wait and see if anyone else joins. It's only just 7 o'clock. I have been given permission by the lovely Wendy McLaren, who is of course the owner of Madhatters, to give you a little peek at some of the new designs. So let me just pop that lot all out of the way and we'll pick them up one by one. Might need to do a bit of a song and dance, but there we are. Let me just, why is that? There we are. That's a bit better. That's a bit better even still. Cool. My ski lesson went very well. Thank you very much. I'm in one piece. That's always a positive feature, I think, if you can survive such activities. It's the joy of having a daughter who is a qualified ski instructor and a snow slope to practice on. Yes, Serena, I think that it is intermittently raining and I can't do much about the weather. Hi Sam, thank you for joining us. So, sneaky peeky time. Hi Julie, thank you. So I've got my project, which is this bit, and I'll come back to that. Let's look at that. So the little boat sits on a plinth, so it will sit upright and stand on a little wooden plinth, and all of the bits are there. That's one. And then we have a different style of boat. So I've done this in a different way. There's yeah. Let me pop those two down safely. Safely. It's a sea-themed show, in case you hadn't gathered. So we have a wonky plaque. It's wonky because these lines are wonky, and there are some rivets but holes. But I think a combination of my texture on the top of them has obscured those. We've got lots of portholes. Mr. Octopus is part, will also be available on the show, and I've done him deliberately in lots of rusty tones because why not? Then we have some boats and the wooden bases to put together. And I've kept this in a sort of very shabby, cheeky style, but I rather like it. Yeah. And then we have a shadow box that has been, well, it would help if I put it up the correct way, wouldn't it? So I bring it up. There we are. We have a lady in the back and lots of little layers, and I've added lots of natural elements. This corally appearance is also in, and we've got the porthole that sits on the front of this as part of the set. So there we are. Good evening, Martin. So, and there are some other bits and pieces. Then I'm not going to share those because I think it's nice to keep a little bit of a surprise. So I've got some bits here that I sort of pre-prepared or pre-thought about. As you're aware, there was a change of plan at relatively short notice. And so this is one of the bits that's in the kit. There's a little diver's helmets, and these come in lots of different sizes, and along with the very thin wooden planks, there's a bigger one and also a smaller one. And just to be awkward, I've decided that I will do it that way. Thank you, Serena. I love the shadow boxes very, very much. Let me see what we've got lurking in here. So we're going to keep this fairly simple tonight for a whole host of reasons, primarily because I think that's all right, Joan, don't you worry. You can only do what we can do in this world. You know, it's not always possible to see everything, is it? So I'm deliberately going to keep this live fairly short, because I'm not too sure how much rain we're going to have, how noisy it's going to be. If it's impossible, then let me know, and I can always try again tomorrow night. Because as I'm sure you're aware, you can hear that the heavens have opened. I'm just thinning down my acrylic paint because I'm gradually working my way through bottles or pots that have been open for probably about a year, and actually they're just getting a little bit. And I'm going to be layering my colours this evening, so actually it doesn't matter that I'm just painting this straight onto the MDF. And part of that is because I'm wanting a weathered feel, and therefore I don't mind the MDF showing through, or the brown tone of the MDF coming through. And I'm not going to leave it in a single colour anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So there we are. We're going to have that one that way, and I think we might go for this one coming upwards, and just mix our colours in. And it's the joy of being able to create for yourself, isn't it? You can mix your colours as you want. There we are. So we'll have a little bit more of that, because that has stayed a little bit. I love the blue. The dark blue is indigo, and this one is denim, but it's going to allow me to, I think, mix these through. There we are. So yeah, so we don't have a single colour. We've got them all graded through, and to do that it's important that you have there we are. I'll go for a bit darker at the top and grade us through. Let's see. So let me lid those. And then I'm going to give this a little bit of a whiz and dry. It's alright, isn't it, when you've got your hands in there? So let me just give this one a bit of a dry. As I say, we're deliberately keeping this simple tonight. But sometimes simple is the way to go, isn't it? You don't always have to have things that are complicated. And the MDF has beautiful etchings already in it, which is cool. So you can use those or not, as the case may be. I don't particularly get on with Posca pens, and that's probably because I am a tad too quick to do things, or really when you're using them, a Posca pen onto something, you are better off really with letting everything dry completely. Doesn't feel too bad. There we are. Right, now then, let us just have, oops, she says, we might have some little bits of stenciling to add to this, and we're just going to do that. Pop that over there. So let me just pop that over there. A little bit of, so that is country blue. Let's put that into that. And my preference for stenciling is a little brush. Here we are. Wow. Okay. I'll have a little bit of text into here. And then we'll put a little bit more stenciling down here. And we might have a little bit more I think we might pop some text down here as well. There we are. This text is good. So that can go over there onto the floor, and then I'm just going to use what's left on my dauber. That stencil comes from Stamperia, and it comes from the Cosmos collection. And it's just allowing me to soften my edges a little bit and frame the piece. So that is my background. So simple, easy, not so difficult. Let me just give this a little bit of a scrubble clean. As I say, the intention tonight is not to be on air for hours, but you never know. So this isn't a big project, but the lovely Wendy sent me quite a lot of pieces, and I've got a big boat, which I will do on another live at another point in time. So now we have these two. Hi Anthony, thank you for joining us. That's always appreciated. So now we can have a little think about this. So let us start with our diver. There we are. We'll just, and of course, the MDF is beautiful quality. The paint will sink in, and the markings will then become visible again. So that's a good starting point. Now then, what do we want for our rust bucket? So in my head, the boat is a rust bucket. So I know that doesn't necessarily sound very glamorous. We've got little window frames here. It's a lot beautiful build your own kit. There we are. There we are. We might swap to a nicer brush from that, or we might add some extra pieces over time. So what we're going to do, I have some laser gel here, and I am literally just going to sort of eyeball where those bits are, and that will sink into there. And also I'm going to roughly paint in those, because as I say, I know that we've got the piece to stick on top of them, so that will work just nicely. That can go into that, that can go onto there. So that, excellent. So I like it when a plan comes together. So let's go with a rusty bucket, or not so rusty bucket, as the case may be. So we just need a finer brush, I think. Let's go with that cat's tongue. I think that might work quite well. So let's just add some of this. It's called red clay. It's a nice orangey tone. And we're just going to paint these in layers, so you can see my thought process. So I'm not going to do a true rust effect, because, well, that's not what I want. That doesn't matter, because that piece is going to sit on top of there, and that piece is going to sit on top of that. Cool. So that's working quite nicely. So let's see, let's go. I'll pop that out of the way. So let's just mix some of this sort of ochre-y colour, because we're going to go for yellows and browns, because these are going to contrast really nicely, I think, with the blue of the background. So that's the intent. That's my intention anyway. I think I might go. I'm going to have a brown top of my boat. There we are. And we've got planks here, so that's just, as I say, it won't matter if we go over them, because the lines will show through anyway. There we are. So that's going to go into there. Let's just pop that into there. It's not true rust effect this time, Anthony. It's the rusty colours, as I just felt that they would pop quite nicely against the blue of the background, and allow the boat and the diving bell to shine. Most of you will know that I tend to use, I'm very definitely a paper crafter, so doing everything, or the majority of my makes using paints, is somewhat of a Anthony Minnis, you naughty person. You cannot it's certainly true that browns have their places. Hi Jan, you've been good all day. So Sarah, yeah, a lot of the mixed media stuff that I do is an extension of card making. This could just as easily be considered a dimensional topper. There we are. I want to add some details back into this with a black pen, and if I try adding that with this wet, it won't work. So there we are. As I say, that the whole intention for tonight is not to be here for ages. So this is literally a ink line pen. So we're just going to give our, and I found these to be quite well behaved. You watch and it'll misbehave tonight. There we are. So that's, we highlighted that, and now I can come along here and pop the wood markings that have been beautifully etched in to help tell you what to do. Yeah, so just, yeah, all I'm doing here is I'm using the lines that Wendy has etched with the laser cutter, which is, again, it just makes life easy because you've got them well thought out and easy to therefore follow, to add your detail. And I just think it makes such a difference when you start adding these in. And you could, you know, add some of those, I guess, with white, but that wouldn't necessarily work from the whole of this project. So let us just find a little bit of glue, and then we can pop some of these together. So let's just pop that down there. That can go on there. Come here. That can go there. That can go there. Go there. Right, let us just wreck a brush in the process. There we are. There we are. Oh, I'm sorry, Julie. I do hope you feel better soon. I think this weather really isn't helping anyone's sense of feeling good, is it really? There we are. So we have our little boats. I have a plan for those windows, so there we are. Let's just lift out some of that. Not that it will matter long term. Right, cheers. Simple, not complicated, and I hope therefore easily achievable. And for those of you that are you know, scared of mixed media, that it will help. So I'm going for a iron look for my diving helmet. So this is just a little bit of black, metallic black. It's a dark silver, I guess is the honest answer. It's not really black. And a little bit of blue to add onto there. So we're just building up my colours on here to give me some colour variation along the way. Yeah, gunmetal would be a reasonable description, I think, Anthony. Oh, I'll just add a little bit of that around there. So now my flat black has got a little bit of shimmer and detail into it. There we are. So let's just mop that. As I say, the whole purpose of tonight is a simple make rather than anything too complicated. So for those of you that don't might recognise some of the pieces I'm going to use now, these come from one of the Stamperia paper collections. It just happened to work for what I wanted. I want a little bit more detail added into there. It's a bit plain. So let me just pop that over there, pop that into there, and we'll add some extra detailing onto that. Subtle it might be, but it will serve the purpose. And that's pretty much the only piece of paper that's going on here. But I do have some these are chipboards from the same collection, but you just need a few sea themed, well for me I just wanted a few thick sea themed pieces. So Blue Dream would have lots of shells on it, not necessarily some of the other pieces, but it will all help to pop it together. Good evening, Renee. Thank you for joining us this evening. There we are. So as I say, this is not going to be a, oh mind you, I said that we've already been on there nearly an hour. Oh hey ho, you see, but not, mind you, I haven't done a lot of prep, but I have done it literally on quite often. There we are. Right, excellent. So I now have, actually before I put that in, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because otherwise we'll forget it. She says, I've got some lengths of string here. I clearly don't need all of that lot. Let me just knock that there, and then I can trim it off without fear of bits going every which way. There we are. And then I can keep them together. Right, that wasn't intelligent at all, was it, woman? But hey ho, there we are. So I want my knots on the front, so I'm going to go front to back, and I can trim that down. Take these three, pop them into there, put them all through together, or not as the case may be. There we are. Doesn't need to be a long piece, so there we are. Let's just knot that. Let's just trim that down a little bit. There we are. So now we have a hanging mechanism. Okay. So, Martin, you can absolutely hear rain. I craft in my conservatory, and surprisingly for today the heavens have now decided they will open. Because why wouldn't they when you want them to be nice and quiet? So let's just pop our little ocean there with the word I hope hopefully straight, and I'm going to pop my diver onto there. Little diving scale, so that, as if it's holding it, and then that piece isn't floating in the middle of nowhere, and I'm thinking that that looks quite pretty, so that can go down there, but that's going to need some glue gel added, and those pieces are then all nicely linked together where they are. So the next move is going to be to place some of these pieces. So I know I want my tentacles. There we are, let's move that up. So those can sit there. And I'm going to pop that there. So let me just stick a little bit of glue gel onto that, because that will help. And then we're going to pop my boat into place. And this is definitely artistic license, isn't it? Because really, there we are. So that's going to sit onto there. Now I can see that I've got a mess, so let me just, sorry about the noise ladies and gentlemen, there we are. So that can go onto there, and that can go onto there. So we have our little boat sitting there, that can go into there. Yeah, well, I haven't seen any thunder, it has to be said. Right, now then. So I'm going to add my splatters this evening using country green, which is very solid. It might take me a little bit of mixing. Let's shuffle that lot into there. Let that one melt in. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That is very noisy. But we are not far off. So let's just give this a, see if we can mix this in. There we are, good. That's going to mix in and thin down. So I've deliberately not gone for white, because I didn't really think I wanted to, you know, I thought it was going to be a little bit harsh, to be honest. And I think what I might do before I do that, I've got some glossy gel. Hi Wendy, yeah. So that's deliberately some glossy gel, because it will add a little bit of a shine. And I'm cool with that. Let me just grab any size of the balls. And there's a few shells mixed in with this lot, because why not? But the shine won't, will work because of it being a sea-themed project. So I'm just going to pop some of these in and around here. Oh, she says, before I splatter this down. So we've got some natural, as I say, some natural shells here as well. So we'll just pick those up. And we'll pop those on. So those will set into place, hopefully. There we are. Let's get rid of the rest of that. Go there. And that will stick itself down with the fullness of time and a little bit of patience. So that's the, I knew there was one thing else I wanted. I do apologise. Yeah. It's not very often that I have a life that's completely disrupted. Let's get rid of that. Now the thunder is arriving. We don't want a splatter. I'm sorry. I don't know there's much I can do about it. Can someone tell me whether you can still hear me amongst that noise? Hopefully it will pass over fairly quickly. I do only have one last step, and this is 3D varnish. No, I don't know sign language, but I'm going to put the 3D varnish into here. Just burst that bubble. That one's already done. So that will dry clear. So which is always good. So I think for tonight that is it, my lovely people. Now don't forget, Wendy has shows on, here we are, on Create and Craft on the 11th of July. The plaques are there, the boats are there. There's a big boat with a shelf. There's a huge porthole, lots and lots and lots of goodies, and a shadow box. And here is my finished piece. And I'm using it absolutely, Sarah, as a tag, but it's a wooden plaque, and I have to say I am going to end this live now because it is now getting silly. All I'm going to do is hope that Sam is better. She and I will have a discussion as to whether she's going live next weekend or whether it's going to be me. And in the meantime, enjoy your week. Take care, everyone. Bye.